Again, guys, welcome so much. My name is Christy Angel. I'm the president for the Citywide Council for District 75. We are calling this committee meeting for capacity and utilization together at the time of 6:05 p.m. We do have Spanish, Mandarin, and Bangla interpretation. At this time, we want to give the floor over to our Mandarin interpreters to give your instructions.
Yes, good evening, everyone. This is for Mandarin interpretation line. 晚上好，欢迎大家来到本次会议。如果您需要普通话翻译的话，请您拨打电话347-966-4114，然后输入会议的 ID 10。
Mandarin, you may continue. You're muted.
I'm sorry. This is a Mandarin interpreter. I apologize. I just muted myself. Good evening, everyone. This is for Mandarin interpretation line announcement. 欢迎大家来到今天晚上的普通话翻译热线。如果您需要普通话翻译，请您拨打电话347-966-4114，然后输入会议的 ID 104886-808井号键。再播报一遍，需要中文普通话翻译，请您拨打电话347-966-4114，然后输入会议 ID 104886-808井号键。谢谢。Thank you. Mandarin announcement completed. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Spanish, you have the floor to give your instructions.
Good evening. The following announcement will be in Spanish. Buenas tardes a todos. Nosotros vamos a estar interpretando el inglés al español. Pueden llamar al número de teléfono 347-966-4114 y la clave es 988-464-569 con el signo numeral al final. Si desea escuchar el audio español, pero prefiere ser en esta conferencia de Zoom para poder ver la audiencia en su computadora, silencie la computadora y silencie el micrófono de su teléfono, por favor. Voy a repetir el número y el código una vez más. El número de teléfono es 347-966-4114 y la clave es 988-464-569 con la tecla numeral al final. Muchas gracias. Thank you.
Thank you so much. Bangla, you now have the floor to give your instructions.
Yes. বেঙ্গলি অ্যানাউন্সমেন্ট। শুভ সন্ধ্যা সবাইকে। এখানে বাংলা ভাষাভাষী যারা আছেন তারা যদি এই অনুষ্ঠানটা বাংলায় শুনতে চান, আপনারা 347-966-4114 এই নাম্বারে ডায়াল করবেন। আবার বলছি 347-966-4114 এই নাম্বারে ডায়াল করবেন। তারপরে আইডি নাম্বার প্রেস করবেন। আইডি নাম্বার হয়েছে 6434803। তারপরে পাউন্ড সাইন দিবেন। আবার বলছি, আইডি নাম্বার 6434803#। ধন্যবাদ। বাংলা অ্যানাউন্সমেন্ট ডান। থ্যাংক ইউ।
Thank you so much. Again, thank you everyone that are here for your time. Thank you again. I see Council Member Recording Secretary White in the chat, and I also see District 75 Representative Oyelami in the chat. Thank you guys for showing up. Thank you, District 75 family members, staff, and otherwise that are here. We appreciate you for being here for these updates and for being with us. Chairperson Bonilla, I would like to turn the floor over to you so that you may move forward with your committee meeting.
Thank you, President Angel. Welcome, everyone. For those new, my name is Stephanie Bonilla, and I am the co-chair for Capacity and Utilization Committee with co-chair Mr. Craig Spencer, that I believe is on the line. Hello, Mr. Spencer. Would you like to say welcome before we
Yes,
start the presentation?
thank you, Vice President Bonilla. Greetings, everyone. Yeah, I am Craig Spencer, former member of the council. Happy to be here and support for the flourishment of our community. Thank you so much for your time and happy holidays in advance.
Thank you for that. Now I would like to share the floor with Ms. Tamar Smith, who will be presenting tonight. She works with SCA and is the Community Relations Manager for District 13, 14, and 15. Thank you, Ms. Tamar, for joining us tonight.
Thank you so much, Ms. Bonilla and Ms. Angel and Mr. Spencer and everybody here from the District 75 Citywide Committee and all of our guests. I so enjoy meeting with you each year and it's just wonderful to be here. So thank you. I hope that everyone can see my screen. I'm sharing hold on, getting things popping up. I'm sharing our presentation, which was also emailed to everybody on the committee so that you can look at it later and think of any questions you may have. What we also did was send along a bunch of information about the School Construction Authority that you all might find very interesting regarding how we handle environmental issues, our MWLBE program, our Public Arts for Public Schools program, and some other interesting, information and material about the SCA. All right, so I am Tamar Smith, and as she mentioned, I am the manager of community relations for those districts, but each year, most years, I've come also to speak with District 75. And I have a group of colleagues whose contact information you'll see at the back of the presentation who manage all of the districts, all citywide. And we're always available to all of you for any questions that you may have about any projects at all. All right, so first, I will just let you know that I'm here tonight to talk about our FY 2025 through 2029 5-year capital plan, and even more specifically, the November 2025 amendment, which just came out a few weeks ago. And something I always want to say is that our 5-year plan is not etched in stone when it first comes out. It is what we call a living document, and it changes each year. And the process through which it changes is amendments. So November and February each year, there is an amendment to the plan. And usually what that means is that projects are added. And as we go along the 5 years, projects are constantly added. All right, all right, so our agenda for tonight. The first thing to say is to introduce the School Construction Authority to those who may not know. Our mission is to design and construct safe schools across the 5 boroughs, and we're dedicated to building new schools and doing major renovations on our existing school buildings. So what I'll be talking about tonight are highlights of our capital plan. I'll be talking about the capacity program, capital improvement, the RESO-A funding process in that program, our MWLBE program, and then going over the CEC priority project requests and giving some guidance on how to handle that. All right, so the November 2025 amendment to the capital plan, the total plan is now at more than $20 billion. And the plan is broken up into 4 major categories that you see here. So capacity for 6.98 billion is dedicated to bringing brand new seats
Nate,
to
put
the
your hoodie
system.
on. It's pouring. You're gonna leave your book bag in the car, right?
Everyone, if we can, just
Leave
make
it right
sure
there
that
where you
you're
at.
on mute. All righty. Continue,
Yeah.
please. Thank you, guys.
Okay, no problem. Thank you so much. So that's capacity is all about bringing new seats into the system. And that's brand new buildings, additions, leases, all ways, room conversions, all ways that we bring new seats into the system. Capital improvement $7.92 billion is dedicated, as I was mentioning, to our existing school buildings. And we do major projects each year, and we'll get into more of that as I go along. Healthy schools is a relatively new category, and it focuses on health and well-being and sustainability. Everything from electrification of buildings, which is a new program Mayor Adams initiated to bring our schools into being electrified. There are big projects, but Healthy Schools also has to do with recreation, fields, gyms, and all the things that make a school healthy and interesting for kids. And then our mandated program. So these are the less exciting programs, but these are projects required by local laws and city mandates and have to do with insurance wrap up and required elements like that, building code compliance. All right. All right, so citywide highlights. New capacity, so we were talking about 6.13 billion. Electrification, as I was mentioning. So this is the start of transitioning all public schools to operate on electric power. And then the goal is eventually to electrify all of them. Technology, 1.25 billion is dedicated to projects that include increasing the bandwidth for Wi-Fi, something 100 years ago that wasn't thought of, but that we need to bring our schools into the most up-to-date institutions and updating old communication systems. Accessibility, this is 800 million in this plan on top of 800 million in the last capital plan. So altogether $1.6 billion dedicated to making each school ultimately fully accessible. $40 million for physical education space upgrades. And then the cafeteria enhancement experience, which is meant to have schools with the best dining experience for students. All right, so digging more into specifically the capacity program. Again, brand new seats in the system, simple enough. But there's also specifics of replacement programs, and this happens when when a lease runs out and we have to search for new space for a school. And that can happen pretty frequently, so we need to dedicate funds to it. We have capacity to support TCU removal. This has been going on for the last few capital plans. Some 20 to 25 years ago, many portable and mini buildings were added, and to help increase capacity. And then the idea over the last 10 years or so has been to remove them and to create new seats in different ways. So we're really almost at the tail end of that program. And then sometimes when we remove TCUs, they've been there a really long time sitting in the schoolyard, we're able to redevelop the playground, which is a really nice upgrade for the space. And then $200 million is dedicated to early education. Right now in this plan, it's all about incorporating the ACS early learn sites under the DOE portfolio. They used to be run by ACS. So DOE is taking them over. All right, since District 75 is a citywide CEC, I'm going to be taking a look at every borough and showing you what the brand new capacity is going to be in that borough. And what you'll see here is each school mentioned, each new school, and you see the anticipated occupancy, each of them has a District 75 program in it. And all together, we are going to be opening more than 1,500 District 75 brand new seats in new buildings over the next few years. So here we have 3 projects in the Bronx, opening in the next couple of years. And then Brooklyn also. Each of these is a brand new school. This program here is a full all District 75 program, opening in a building with a couple of other schools in it. And Queens, similarly, brand new schools and brand new seats for everyone. and then Staten Island as well. Okay, now the next major bucket is capital improvements. And we often get the question, how does a project or a concern in a building become a capital improvement project? And what I really want to emphasize here is that all of these that you see on the side are parallel. These are all data coming in to the SCA all the time. And through that, we look at every aspect of a building and figure out how to prioritize that budget, which sounds like a lot. I get it. But if you're talking 5 boroughs, 1,300 buildings, half of which are about 85 to 100 years old, and a lot of need across many facilities. So one of the major ways that we look at buildings is through the BCAS survey, Building Condition Assessment Survey. The SCA sends a team of engineers each year to look at every single building in the system, from roof to basement and everything in between, and rates each condition, carefully looks at everything, talks to the custodian and the principal to get their point of view on how the building is going, and then has a very interesting and long report, which you can see for any building by going to the DOE website, looking up the school, and then there's a tab called reports. And you can see, and they're very interesting. They're have photos and charts and diagrams, and they're really quite extensive. So if you're interested, you can look. DSF reported issues. So DSF is the Division for School Facilities. DSF is part of the Department of Education. And the SCA is not. We're a separate agency, but we work very closely with DSF. And people who you're very familiar with are in DSF, your building custodian, for example, and that person's supervisor and all those groups. And they are in the buildings every single day. They do the heavy lifting of day-to-day cleaning and maintenance on buildings, and they also do some repairs. But when they have something that's gone on in a school, could be an emergency, like something fell from a facade, in a rainstorm, for instance, or an elevator broke, whatever it is. If they do a lot of repairs on their own, but when something is outside of their scope or funding, then it may be referred to the SCA to become a project. Then there are mandated repairs. There are things that we must do for health and safety, and even things that weren't expected can become a project. Resume, and that's where your elected officials can give funding, and I'll talk more about this, and for projects that a school has asked for. And then, of course, there's the CEC request, and we look through those and consider those as well. But always keep in mind, we want to emphasize that the kinds of projects that the SCA does are really major projects. When you see a school covered in scaffolding and netting, that's the SCA, right? So not the smaller things, or a broken auditorium seat or whatever it is. Those are maintenance items. But what we do are the really big building envelope issues, HVAC, things like this, exterior masonry, windows, flood elimination. We do accessibility projects. We may do a full renovation of a playground, auditorium, or gymnasium upgrade, but really very major projects. All right, so again, what we call CIP is Capital Improvement Project, our program. And because again, you're citywide, I'm showing some highlights in every borough. So these are, what I'll be showing you are specifically projects done in schools with District 75 programs. Now remember, this is only highlights. We have many more projects, and you can find them in the back of the capital plan, listed out by district and by school. So here you have some lots of projects going on in the Bronx, in Brooklyn, accessibility, heating plant upgrades, roofs, Manhattan. And remember again, we're about a year and a half into the new capital plan, and we're adding projects all the time. But again, of course, these are just highlights. And examples for you. All right, RESOA. So RESOA projects are capitally eligible projects for specific schools that schools have requested, and they're funded by borough presidents and city council members normally. And they are a complement to the capital plan. Because as I was saying, as much as the capital plan is large, we don't have money to do everything that a school would want. So we're really very grateful to, council members and borough presidents who can give extra money from their funds. And the RESOA budget timeline. So January through March, elected officials contact schools to identify potential projects, and sometimes schools contact them to ask. And normally, I think the applications are due sometime in February. So if you're interested in doing that, you have a few months to think that over and talk to your schools and see, what they're interested in and give them maybe some assistance in applying. City budget negotiations and approvals are May through June. The city fiscal year starts July 1st. Schools are usually notified of awards by the sponsor. By sponsor, we mean the city council member or borough president who gave the funds. In late fall and early spring, the SCA receives the final budget authorization from the Office of Management and Budget. Without that, we can't start doing anything. So sometimes it's a little later in the year, sometimes it's earlier, but whenever that comes is when we can begin our process. So 1 month following the OMB approval, we begin the project scope and design process, and schools are contacted by the project team. All right, so RESOA highlights, as you can see, 24 million dedicated to 85 RESOA projects. So again, many thanks to the council members and borough presidents who do this. Okay, MWLBE. So the SCA is dedicated to increasing participation of minority-owned, women-owned, and locally based business enterprises on SCA projects, including through MWLBE targets on our projects. And what this means is we're really very focused on this. And because SCA is one of the largest agencies in the city with a very large capital budget, we actually are one of the largest MWLBE programs in the state, even in the country. And we also run a mentor program, which provides support and access to capital and business opportunities for qualified emerging MWLBEs. So in fiscal year 2025, in School District 75, which is, of course, citywide, keep saying, the SCA awarded $3.7 million in prime contracts for CIP work to 2 firms, MWLBE firms, for 2 projects. And this represents 16% of all contracts for CIP work in School District 75. All right, and here we wanted to give some guidance for the priority project request. This year, I think everybody got something from our capital planning department with the new form, and I'm forgetting the date, but it would be in that email. I think it's January.
If you could bump that back up to us, Tamar. I don't believe we have that yet. If we do, it got lost in the email. If you could bump that back up to our council.
Yeah, sure. I think that my colleague may have sent it today, actually. So maybe
okay, wonderful.
Yeah, I think it may have just come. It's just normally sent around this time, and I think that I saw that, but I'm just looking through my email to make sure that it went out to you. And so there's a deadline sometime in January, and the email will have that deadline and the date and all the information. So we want to give some guidance as well. So each November, CECs are asked to complete this form, identifying what we hope will be the top 5 priority projects in their district. And the top 5 are looked at first and considered possibly for the next amendment or whatever. We can prioritize that request. And forms are due in mid-January. As I said, there will be a date in that email that I believe was sent today. And any questions that you have once you see all your instructions, you can email here to sinput at nycsca.org. And that'll go right to our capital planning department, and they're good at, looking at all the details and giving advice. So we really recommend, that you review capital eligibility guidelines. So remember, these are major projects that cost more than $50,000. They're permanent enhancement to buildings, and make sure they're not maintenance items, because it's frustrating to ask for maintenance items only for us to say, no, that's not capitally eligible, and it's not something that the SCA does. So for those items, principals should talk to their custodians and, speak with DSF and get things fixed. So as you're thinking about it, you can, we really recommend that you review the capital plan and identify, like I said, in the back of the capital plan, divided by district and then by school, you'll see projects that are already happening. So make sure not to ask for those because we're on it. You want to think about, when you're thinking about a project, think about the kind of category that project is in, right? Is it a capital improvement? Is it healthy schools? Just sort of think about what category it might fall in. And review projects with the custodian, individual schools, and the custodian may well say to you, no, that's not a giant SCA project. That's something we can handle here. And there's a ticket that they put in for a repair. So, and always talk to your principals, right? You don't want to ask for things that your principals aren't interested in or don't know about, right? So you want to work closely with their schools. So again, please prioritize 5 projects. Remember, we do major capital renovations. And yeah, that's the guidance that we have for you. And okay, and really that concludes today's presentation. I'll be opening up to questions and answers. And of course, if there's anything I can't answer right off the top of my head, I'll take notes and get back to the CEC to, disseminate to members and maybe give, make sure that people get their answers. And here's, as I was mentioning, our contact information. So each borough has people who work in the boroughs. Here's me and all the Brooklyn people. Here's our Bronx folks, Manhattan. Let's see, keep going. Queens, and our colleague Steve handles Staten Island as well. All right, so I'm going to, well, maybe I'll keep sharing in case people want to go over a certain slide, but the floor is yours.
Thank you for that, Ms. Tamar. We appreciate it and all of the information given. I have a question. I would like to know on the slide for Bronx capacity highlights where it shows the building projects.
Mm-hmm.
Is that in conclusion with the Bronx CIP highlights?
Let me see. Let's go over here. You're talking about this slide here?
Yes.
This is 3 brand new school buildings. So new schools, not CIP. Yeah, CIP is all about our existing school buildings. So these are going to be 3 new school buildings in the Bronx opening up in these years you see here on the side. And each of them has a District 75 program.
No problem. Thank you.
You're welcome.
Mr. Spencer, do you have any questions at this time?
And
if anyone could start raising their hands, that way we could start going down the list as well. Thank you.
Thank you, Vice President Bonilla. Can you guys hear me?
Yes.
Am I coming in? Oh, good. Okay. Hi, Ms. Smith. Thank you for your time. for our community here. Just we have some as a citywide council. There's a lot of it's a lot to manage. How and with the amendments being twice a year, and sometimes our council has found challenges. Just speaking through my experience, in terms of needing more than 5 selections. Does the SCA, can they stay in contact with citywide and CECs regarding if it can't fit in one amendment, it can go for a future amendment? How does that process work?
Yeah, I correct me if I'm wrong, because I'm in a different department than the people who send out that form, although we talk all the time. I may have been, we definitely do ask that the individual CECs for each district concentrate on 5. But if I may be wrong, and I think that maybe you can do 5 for each of your boroughs. So that gives you a chance to give more. I'll check with my colleague. And so, yeah, it may be, I think that if you go back 2 years, because I'm not sure that if there was a form last year, but you may be able to do 5 for each. So I hope that opens up. You're right. It makes sense, right, for the citywides to give 5 for each borough. So I think I'm going to check, but
Ms.
that might
Tamar,
be the
that
case.
does become true for the council members that are.
Yeah.
I know that co-committee chair, Mr. Spencer, is a former council member, so he speaks from different sides of it. If you could
Got
please
you.
let the council know any new
Um,
information or any changes that have happened
Yeah.
over the course of time, so that we may be able to course correct with you as well.
Yeah,
President
absolutely.
Ito,
I think that's correct, and that my emphasis was I was thinking of like individual CECs, but I believe that you can do 5 for each borough.
if I
So,
may, thank you so much
mhm,
for looking into that.
yeah,
That's one of the reasons why I'm back.
yeah.
The job is never done. It's helped out my daughter, who's a junior in college now, and
Mhm,
I want to pass it back. And Miss President Angel, Vice President Bonilla, and I, we've worked in the past, and we still carry the baton, and we want to leave it better than how we found it. And that would be a great. I'm here back as a volunteer to continue this conversation for our ever-changing community. And something like that, 5 selections per borough, reflects what our community is changing.
mhm,
And that's what I'll be so bold. That's what President Angel, Vice President Bonilla, all the council members, that's what we're here for. This is why we're taking the time out of our lives. So yes, thank you
makes
so much. If
sense.
you could follow up with that, and
I will.
I'm sure Vice President Bonilla and I, and along with President Angel, will continue this conversation through this committee, if
Mhm,
not through a business or calendar meeting,
mhm.
because that's what our community is evolving and needing. Thank you.
Thank
And
you,
now
You're
Ms.
double
welcome.
dutch back in there. While you may want to speak on my behalf, please do not. We move as the council and in quorum. So my
Mhm,
voice is going to be that of which the council votes on. So as an advisory committee, let's pull all of this forward. Let's make sure we have notes and recommendations to uplift to the council so that we may act on everything that comes out of this committee and fully serve everyone that's here as a part of it and continue to serve the district. Back to you, Vice President Bonilla.
Thank you.
Thank,
I would
thank,
just thank you,
I'm
Mr.
sorry.
as well. I would just like to, can we go to the slide of the CIP?
mhm.
Miss Marie, I'm going to get to your question right now. 1 second.
This one here or which one?
For Brooklyn, it doesn't matter which
Oh,
borough.
okay. Sure. Okay.
Okay.
Pick this one.
I was going to do we have an actual list of the schools that these projects are going to be done in?
Sure, that's what I was referring to when I mentioned that in the back of the capital plan, divided by district first and then school, there's an actual list there for each school of the projects that are done in those schools. So yeah, there were just too many. There are so many projects. We have 1,000 projects going on at any given time. So I couldn't I couldn't show every single one in
85
this,
projects.
yeah, it's all listed out there.
Which PowerPoint would that be in?
It's actually in the capital plan, which is on our website at www.nyc. You know what? I'll put it in the chat.
Please.
Absolutely.
That
And
some of us are new to these spaces.
yeah,
We
absolutely.
to
So here's our website. And then, yeah, no problem. And then right on the homepage is a tab called Community. And then once you get to the Community tab, you'll have Capital Plan Reports, and you'll see the most recent one, and you can take a look at everything. Actually, I want to give a shout out to our capital plan. It's very, very long.
We
but
don't
it's
see
actually
it in the chat, Miss Tamar.
Oh, here I'm sending it right here. It's long and it's detailed, and it's actually really, really well done and well written. It's illustrated very well and written very clearly. And if you peruse that, you'll know so much more than most people. You may fall asleep reading it. It's hundreds of pages, but actually the executive summary in the beginning is extremely interesting, and it really is a great guide to how the capital plan works. And a lot of good information. So I very much recommend it. Yeah. Oh, thank you. I see somebody's putting in some things in the chat that that were shared.
Our AA Gabrielle is adding the 4
yes, thank you so much
again for newcomers.
Okay, great. And I'll just briefly say about each one I mentioned in the beginning. So here, the Reso A brochure goes over that whole process, talks about what is capitally eligible and importantly, what is not, and what kinds of things you can ask for funding from your elected officials, and the whole process. So that's very valuable, I think, for everybody. This, I believe, is this whole presentation that I'm giving now. So everybody can take a look at that. Our MWLBE brochure, and some other, some good information for everyone.
Perhaps one, I think that's the only one missing right now.
Yeah, I think it's our IEH. It means it's our industrial hygiene division, and it's how we handle environmental issues during construction.
Thank you. I'm going to give the floor now to Miss Marie. She has her hand up.
Hi, good evening, everyone. I'm Marie Oyelami, CC12 in the Bronx. I am just looking at the Bronx capacity highlights, and I just wondered, so you said that there will be D75 programs within those buildings. Has there been any mention with the SCA to have, I think I saw it on another borough, like an actual D75 building?
Right. So just to say, yes, what you're talking about here is this program in the Bronx. I should mention this is a co-location. It's a big building, used to be a former Catholic school. It's huge. It has a pre-K program. It's got a middle school, and it turned out there was space that now is being built out for a District 75 school. So it's not a complete standalone building, just to be clear about that. And there are a few across the city, but not that many. Most District 75 programs are together with other programs. But yeah, it can happen occasionally, and it depends partly on the need in that community, and also, of course, on whether space can be found. That's always, at a premium and difficult to find. But it's not unheard of, and that's something to discuss with the DOE, because they really determine, where these programs should be. The SCA builds the buildings, builds them out, or builds them when we're asked to. But yeah, that's a good question, and we do have a few across the city, but not very many.
Thank you for that.
Mm-hmm.
For future presentations, just as a suggestion, if we could have a presentation that aside from saying Brooklyn, can it gives us like what district is educational campus in?
Okay. I luckily, because I do Brooklyn, I can tell you it's in District 15.
Yeah, well, okay.
Yeah.
So just
Let's see. I can. Yep. These are.
we don't know if the presenter will know the other boroughs.
Absolutely, you're right. You know, it's funny, in our previous, we used to have that information, and someone probably made some decision at some point to change the charts around, and I agree with you. I think that we should have the district, but I'll bring that back for sure. I think you're absolutely right. That's valuable information.
It's also helpful because our school districts are different from our city council districts.
Yes, of course, they're completely different. Yeah, agree.
Thank you. Does anyone else have any other questions or comments about any of the slides that you've seen tonight or information that you have gotten? We could also find out more information. Can we get as to when are the SCA meetings going to happen as a council? Ms. Tamar?
Do you mean that for me? Can you just clarify what you mean? I'm not sure.
When we have projects approved and the work is going to start.
Oh, well, you mean for our brand new schools?
Yes. Or
Yeah,
even
what we
IPs, because for like the toilet assessment,
yeah,
I believe
right. So there's a whole okay. Yeah, I think that the main, so for capacity jobs, that is the new schools, we do a process called site selection, excuse me, where we come before CECs and the community boards to present about new schools. We also always give the CECs the information about which ones are coming to their districts, like I did just now, and that we're building them and that they're ready to go. And then for certain kinds of projects like accessibility, we are able to give more updates about when things are going to begin. But I will say, with 1,000 projects going on at any given time, we're not able to give an update about every single one. But for major things, and if you ever want to know, hey, what's going on here? I see a project, just, reach out to any of us. Like I said, here at the back is all of our contact information. Everybody here is happy to talk to anybody at any time, answering questions, like Nicole in the Bronx. I heard somebody here was from CEC 12. She works with you. Joshua Adams in Manhattan. And so anyway, so this is all in the back of the thing. And please do reach out. We also have a director of external affairs. Oh, and here's something I wanted to point out. So for the Resaway projects I was talking about, Brian McGinn is our director of Resaway. So if you ever want to, or if a principal wants to talk over, or a superintendent, and you've all been talking about a project that a school might want, and you want to talk it over with somebody at the SCA and get like an estimate or an idea, because I would have no idea how much things cost. I'm a parent like many of you, but there are people at the SCA who can do that, can talk things through. So I recommend people reach out before even asking for the funding.
No problem. And like you mentioned, so if there's a specific project and we would like to know who the project manager is, that way we can know the timeline of that project.
Exactly. So you'll see the districts everybody handles right here.
Okay.
Brooklyn's big, so it's divided up into 3 people. But yeah, and Queens as well. But any, people are happy to talk with you at any time. And if you, think of things about this presentation afterward, if you're thinking about me over the Christmas break, and you're thinking about all of this, please do reach out anytime with any questions.
And we'll tag that in for any council members that are in our 1 through 32 representatives, and you are watching this back. Remember, Miss Tamar Smith said, reach out. We are here to support you guys just as well. So let us know.
Right.
DECs and citywides matter. So we want to make sure that we do serve everyone and encompass everything in these spaces.
Exactly. And that goes for CCHS as well, the high school, high school group.
Special education.
Mm-hmm.
Can we check the interpretation, see if anybody on interpretation lines have any questions?
I have a quick question.
Okay.
It's okay if I can ask it?
Yes. I was trying to figure out who it was. Yes, Miss Grandy.
So for this, but this is only for the elementary schools, or this is for high schools as well. It's only for elementaries.
No, ma'am. This is for everyone from pre-K through 12. Yeah, all of the schools in the system.
And then I downloaded the slides and stuff, but everything is in the brochures. Like I downloaded all of that stuff. So everything that's going on.
It's a lot of good information in the brochures, but I do recommend also taking a look at the actual capital plan. I wrote down our website here in the community tab, capital plan report. You can actually see the entire capital plan in there. There's a ton of good information.
We'll try to download it as well and email it to everyone that register.
Yeah, you can. If it's a lot, but so you can look at it right online if you don't want to download it.
Maybe during the break, some of us maybe.
Yeah, I'm telling you,
and we may want to look through it.
I think so. I really think it's worth it. My colleagues do a very, very good job of being clear, even though it's lots of numbers and financial information, and it's clear, it's well written, good photos. It's very good.
And we could come up with the question. I will add the email as well for capacity and utilization in the chat. That way, any questions that you have, we could send it to Ms. Tamar and she could get back to us the best way she can.
Definitely. And if it's about, one of my colleagues' districts, I'll just forward it to them and they'll get back to you. So we will do that. And we're pretty fast. And we really want to be responsive. So anything you have, let us know.
Thank you again, Ms. Tamar. Mr. Spencer, you have anything else to add?
Yeah, I just want to reiterate, that's what this committee is here for. It's an ever developing, it's a lively living conversation. This presentation is a living Thank you, Ms. Smith, for opening your presentation with that. This isn't the be all to end all tonight. Lord knows, with the holidays around the corner in the new year. I'm proud to say I'm working with Vice President Bonilla to do our best to continue this conversation when things come up. Let this committee know, and we will do our best to look for partners like Ms. Smith and bring it up to the citywide council for the council to act officially. And this is, use this information, pass it on, that there's an avenue toward getting the best that we deserve. And this committee and our meetings and relationship with partners like Ms. Smith will do our best to get it to make it a reality as best as soon as possible. So please utilize our council, utilize our committee for situations such as these to improve our community.
I really appreciate you saying that. We feel the same way. And yeah, absolutely. Please reach out to us anytime.
I guess I got to put the. Do we put the? I gotta put the email on the chat. The committee email, or the council.
Yes, Vice President Bonilla, could you put the committee email, or Mr. Spencer, if you could put the committee email, worst case, put the council's email, we'll direct them back to the correct people, to you
Yes.
guys, so that you can move forward. I've also added the links again that Ms. Smith, Tamar was speaking about with the capital reports, data, new school sites. That's linked currently now. If you
Yes.
missed that earlier in the report, which we will send out. Excuse the snoring baby in the background, and yay for me for peace and quiet for a little bit. But we have the links in there for you guys. I'm so grateful for the work that Second Vice President Bonilla is doing, and former Council President Mr. Craig Spencer, now co-chair of this committee, continuing the work. Thank you, Tamar. Thank you for parents, administrators, because I see a few of you there, and council members joining. I will hand this back over to Vice President Bonilla. Please do know that we will have this recording on CCD 75 Outreach on our YouTube channel. We will try to get that up by end of week. For those who are registered and here, it will also be emailed out to you. Thank you so much.
Thank you again. I would just like to ask one more time, interpretation, if there are any questions on the line.
There's no questions on the Spanish line.
No, thank you. For Bangla?
No question from Bangla line. Thank you.
Thank you. For Mandarin?
No either. Thank you.
No problem. And if there are no other questions at this time, I would like to just thank everyone for joining us. Ms. Tamar Smith, thank you for the presentation. Thank you for your responses and collaborating with us in the work and joining together on doing the best we can for the schools.
Thank you so much, everyone. Have a good evening, wonderful holidays, and I look forward to speaking with you again very soon.
And happy holidays, everyone. I'm going to segue back in. I see some emails in there. If you want to join this capacity and utilization committee, it is open to any and everyone. Please email us at ccd75capacity@gmail.com, and we will welcome you. No strings attached.
Yes,
Are you interpreter at 6:58?
Before we want to just whatever our next meeting date after the holidays.
It will be January. Our next meeting will be on January 14 at 6 p.m. and January 28 at 6 p.m. as well. We're looking to have building facilities come to our January 14 meeting. That way we could discuss other things that could be fixed through them. As Ms. Tamar has stated, certain things are done through SCA, certain things could be done through other departments of the DOE. And that will be one of them, the building facilities. So if you could please join us again in January, we will thank you.
Don't forget, January 7th is our joint business and calendar meeting. You will be able to go to ccd75.org to register. We will also e-blast all of you guys so you can get the information in all spaces. Vice President, if you will release our interpreters and sign us out, thank you so much.
Just one last thing. What's the status of our survey, Vice President? I know we're working on it.
Yeah. It should be sent out before the holidays. That way, when we get back, we will have all of that information for our meeting.
Yeah, just want to make sure we say that before we sign off, so that way it's something we could follow up on. Move forward. Thank you so much, guys. Happy holidays, everybody.
No problem. The time now is 6:59 p.m. We will be releasing our interpreters at this time.
Have a great night, everyone. Stay warm and get some good rest. Happy holidays.
Okay, good night.
Bye,
Happy
night,
everyone.
everyone.
holidays.
Good
Thank you
night.
Good
so
night,
much.
everybody. Good night.
Take care.